You're really not going to believe me when I tell you this, but PlayStation is on an absolute generational run of stupidity, greed, and anti-consumer behaviors. Oh, yeah, look, listen, it's going to get bad. And not just because about what happened yesterday, but about what PlayStation has been doing this entire generation, increasing the price of their consoles multiple times, introducing a $700 PS5 Pro, adding in the fact that they then jacked the price up to $900 because of the RAM crisis, and literally admitting to everyone that they're going to over monetize their user base because of this crisis altogether. Consistently funding actual live service slop over and over again. Everything from Marathon, which is losing player numbers, Concord, which had to get shut down, and even now, Fair Games and the new Horizon Forbidden West game that's also a live service slop title as well. Oh yeah, it's gonna get even worse, by the way. Let's not forget the fact that they also introduced 14-day online DRM checks for games that you've already bought digitally on their platform, and are now asking for your ID in order to use those actual services that are part of the console that you've already overpaid for in the first place. So they want to jack up the price, they want to sell you slop, they also want to have your ID, and then they want to control everything you do on their ecosystem. Yeah, clearly things are not going well. Oh, I almost forgot. PlayStation also requiring PC users to have a PSN login, basically nullifying all of their actual purchases and literally restricting people not playing their video games, all because they wanted those sweet, sweet monthly active users. Boy, these guys, they're some of the best in the business, aren't they? Yeah, the best in the business of trying to squeeze out every penny out of your back pocket, and also basically just setting up the entire gaming industry to actually fail. Couldn't have said it any better myself. They're literally the king who wears no clothes. But you see, things are going to go from bad to worse. Not only are they charging you more across the board for every piece of hardware, it turns out they're also going to be increasing the price of their services. And when you find out why, it's going to make your head spin. PlayStation on Twitter literally said this: starting May 20th, PlayStation Plus prices for new customers will increase in select regions due to ongoing market conditions. Prices will start at $10.99 USD, €9.99 Euro, $7.99 British pound sterling for 1 month subs, and $27.99 USD, €27.99 Euro, $21.99 British pound sterling for 3 month subscriptions. This price change does not apply to current subscribers, except in Turkey and India, unless the existing subscription changes or lapses. We are literally sitting here and witnessing as PlayStation is actually nickel and diming you on a consistent basis. Truly one of the most insane things I've ever seen. Ah yes, using the classic excuse of market conditions. Explain to me, PlayStation, what $1 extra a month is going to be, or $3 extra for every 3 months is going to be, in terms of trying to outpace the market condition that you are now trying to claim is impacting everybody else. Could it be that you are nothing more than just insatiably greedy across the board? Because clearly that's what I'm thinking is exactly what's happening, and people are not happy about it. With Videotech responding saying this: blaming market conditions is insane. It should be free to play online games without paywalls in 2026. With T. Devonta T saying, what does market have to do with online services? Nothing has changed with the internet. With Nick Tech saying, first you guys increased PS5 prices, and now you increase online subscription prices. What the hell? This truly is an astounding moment right now for PlayStation. Its absolute greed and stupidity truly cannot be any more upfront than they're showing you, in fact, right now. But actually, it does get worse. No, I'm not kidding. And seeing as how this company is still getting support from all of its fan base, all of its users, and people are still not fighting back at what PlayStation has been doing, is just giving them the green light to basically say, we're going to charge you whatever the want. And clearly they're getting away with it. People ran out and bought $750 PS5 Pros when they were going to increase the price to $900 a week later. That should be signal number one that this company does not care about you at all whatsoever. This clearly is nothing more than PlayStation literally putting their head between their legs and huffing their own farts practically all day long and telling you how fantastic the smell actually is after eating 3-day-old refried beans. There shouldn't be any price increases, especially for online connectivity. We already pay for internet access through our ISPs. I shouldn't have to pay you another fee on top of that you're going to increase the price on in order to access the internet I've already paid for. You also don't charge for multiplayer games that are free to play, so why should anything else be behind this paywall altogether? We are living in 2026, where PC gaming has become incredibly popular, and people are understanding that if they don't have to spend extra money on things online, they shouldn't have to. Yet here comes PlayStation over monetizing their users. And it gets even worse when you realize that even their most diehard fans are calling out the bull. MBG on Twitter quote tweeted PlayStation saying this, quote, "Market conditions. Sony's most profitable generation, by the way. There's no defending it. No excuse. It's pure greed." Here's Real Radic saying this, "Price increase for new PlayStation Plus users, and yet we're still only going to get one classic game per month on premium." Porter Rock 77 quote tweeting PlayStation and saying, "What market condition is there that would cause a subscription price hike? Speak with your wallet." If you know anything about this channel and the content I used to make, you can clearly see that Sony's strongest soldiers are still not even putting up with this kind of horseshit. And honestly, I applaud them. That is actually fantastic. Finally, we're getting these clowns to actually wake up. I'm incredibly shocked that even MBG and Porter Rock went around saying those exact things when they are the exact same people who defend this company non-stop. And it clearly shows the kind of greed that PlayStation is in fact pulling on. When their own fanboys who defend them, hook or crook, are turning around and saying, hey, wait a minute, even if it's $1, that's still not right, it really goes to show the kind of insanity that PlayStation is in fact trying to pull. But it's not the only space, because clearly PlayStation is now trying to fight another lawsuit headed their way, and it looks like they were trying to double dip. With Engadget reporting this, Sony was hit with a class action lawsuit for allegedly profiting from tariff-related price hikes. If this kind of thing sounds familiar, that's because it actually is. The same thing happened with Nintendo facing its own class action lawsuit against them trying to go through and double dip on tariffs, gaining that money that is coming back from the government to these companies and still increasing the prices on users because of market conditions. Isn't it strange how all this in fact ties together? The fact that these companies are literally double dipping and trying to gain more money out of you as a consumer, yet still turn around and pretend that they're the poor ones, that you have to support the developers, that you guys, we have no choice but to raise prices. It's impossible if we don't. Yet at the same time admitting to everyone, as always, they're having their best generation ever. Isn't it funny when you see it all come together? Raise the price of services, raise the price of consoles, double dip on getting money from the government, and then still keep those prices high so you have to pay more and then blame it on market conditions. You couldn't write the scam any better if you tried, if you ask me. But there's more to the article, so let's check it out. Gamers have filed a class action lawsuit against Sony, claiming the company received a, quote, substantial windfall as a result of price hikes following the Trump administration's tariff policy. The lawsuit was filed in California earlier this month and is seeking refunds for anyone who bought a PlayStation console during the tariff period that led to the elevated price tags. It's not the first time gamers sought legal action as a result of Trump's tariff policy, since a similar class action lawsuit was filed against Nintendo in April. However, Nintendo has also taken legal action against the US government for financial harm thanks to tariffs. On an even larger scale, Amazon is facing a class action lawsuit for the very same reasons as Sony. It's honestly absurd to see how so many companies are now abusing you as a customer, taking advantage of everything happening across the government landscape, and then crying to you, telling you how they're so broke, they're so poor, they have no other choice but to raise the prices of online services, even though there shouldn't have been a price on online services from the very beginning, if you ask me. To then make matters even worse, practically admitting to everyone that they're going to monetize their user base even harder, simply because they don't want to have a loss on anything. They don't want a loss on consoles, they don't want a loss on actual services, and they certainly don't want a loss on their games either. It's clear as crystal that what's happening right now is PlayStation being full of its own hubris and abusing everything that they've earned and gained throughout their entire user base without a shadow of a doubt, trying to monetize, nickel and dime you, and break you every single chance that they possibly can, because they feel they're the only place you should in fact play video games. And I think what we're seeing right now is not a greedy PlayStation, but in fact a very scared PlayStation. And that is more dangerous than anybody could ever imagine. Because this kind of behavior is not going to lead to better games. It's not going to lead to more opportunities. It's in fact going to lead in the opposite direction. More restrictions, more problems, more price increases, and more locking down of the kind of ecosystem that so many people are actually trying to enjoy. But you see, PlayStation's fans are going to go from bad to worse because for some reason, they're actually pulling an Xbox. Funnily enough, bad news comes out, they got to put out good news right behind it in order to go away and sweep it all under the rug. That way nobody even notices. And it turns out PlayStation's next move may actually be the one thing that their fan base has always wanted to hear. But they're not going to be ready for that kind of conversation. With Insider Gaming saying this: single-player PlayStation games will no longer launch on PC. Oh, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. You can hear the cries of celebrations from all the fanboys on the internet. Yes, we have exclusives back again, baby. True value to our platform and our plastic box that we're overpaying for with online services, overpaying to buy the actual system itself, and then having to deal with DRM, online real ID checks, and everything else in between. Boy, I hope those exclusives are in fact actually worth it. And clearly, they truly think it is, because this has got to be, in my opinion, the dumbest thing PlayStation could in fact ever do. Or you know what? Maybe not. Maybe it's in fact the smartest. Think about it for a second, shall we? There is an entire group of people online that want nothing more than to go ahead and pretend that exclusivity is in fact a major beneficial factor of their plastic box and console. Even though we've already seen that PlayStation has admitted on their own they are in fact a third-party box. But see, this is where the rubber is going to meet the road. See, this tweet that I made a bit ago is now making the rounds of people saying, haha, Alex, you were wrong. They're not going to put any games on PC day and date. Cry more, PC fanboy, Steam glazer. Yeah, Think about it for a second, shall we? They just lost $2 billion if that's the case. Where do you think they're going to make those $2 billion back up from? They just raised the price of PSN. They just raised the price of consoles. What do you think you're going to pay for the price of your exclusives? With Insider Gaming saying this: it has been confirmed by Bloomberg's Jason Schreier that, quote, big PlayStation games, particularly those with a single-player focus, will no longer launch on PC. This is a push from Sony Group to return to console exclusivity, hosting only multiplayer-centric titles across both PS5 and PC. This report came from Bloomberg in March, but more information was added today by Schreier. Namely, the additional information is that Herman Hulst, CEO, has confirmed the direction in an all-new town hall. The slate of narrative single-player games headed to PlayStation will launch only on PlayStation and won't be ported to PC later. This means that games like Wolverine and Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophecy won't hit PC when they do launch. With Wolverine coming first this year, it was recently claimed that Intergalactic is 2 years away. Death Stranding 2 On the Beach hit PC after Schreier's original report went out, and certain PlayStation-published games like Kenna Scars of Kasamora are still up in the air. Look, I'm gonna be real. This is going to be one of the biggest mistakes PlayStation will practically ever make. And I'm not saying it because PC is so much better, because actually, It truly is. I'm saying it because what they're going to be doing now is trying to monetize its own user base far heavier than they were in fact before. If you thought price increases were bad with PSN, get ready for $80 video games on PlayStation, or maybe possibly even higher. Remember, they admitted it themselves. They're going to monetize you as a user base. And the thing is, PlayStation completely fucked up the entire porting on PC in the first place, not launching day and date, not actually marketing their games, putting their games out at full price, adding the PSN login fiasco, applying specific spots of DRM, making everything officially worse for the PC user across every single turn, providing more friction than anything. And then what happens when their games don't sell? They take their ball and they go and cry home, back to their fanboys. Clearly, they do not understand what in fact is going to be happening, and when it does impact them negatively, they're going to have a difficult time. But remember when I said earlier before that PlayStation is terrified, they're scared? Yeah, they're scared of something, all right. They're scared of the Steam machine. Oh yeah, you know it's going to come back to that, baby. Everybody knew it was going to come back to that. This little box is terrifying the industry more than you could possibly imagine. Think about it for just a half-hot second, though, shall we? You've got Steam, a system and a platform that gives you everything you want under the sun as an actual user, provides you with some of the best customer service you could in fact ask for, a proper refund policy where you can return the game after 2 hours, whether it's back to your credit card or even a store credit, and then having practically every single video game on the planet listed in that storefront for you to buy and even play. That is what PlayStation is in fact terrified about. That is why they're going back on exclusivity and not putting their games to PC. They're not doing it because they want to give fanboys something to cheer about. No, they're doing it because they clearly understand the way they treat their users and the way they treat their actual fans is not indicative of how you treat proper customers. And the second that Steam and Valve walk in and they say, hey, guess what? You're not paying for online. You've got every game here from Xbox and PlayStation. You can even emulate games if you want to, and you're going to use our service instead. Clearly, PlayStation does not want to play ball, and they're definitely taking their ball and running back home, back to what they think is going to be successful for them, even though they don't realize what in fact is going to be actually happening. People are going to be seeing an open platform, a place where you can have everything under the sun and not have to worry about a corporation screwing you over every 10 fucking seconds, trying to step on a rake and then blame you for it. Instead, what they're going to be seeing is so many people look at Steam and go, hey, hold on, wait a minute. I can play every PlayStation game, I can play every Xbox game, I can play every PC game, I can emulate Nintendo games all on one place, not pay for online, have Steam sales, have deals, have a better controller, have a better operating system, not deal with terrible DRM, and also be able to own my digital products if I want to buy them through GOG as well, or even crack the game that I own. Why on earth would I ever buy a PS5 or even a PS6? That is what people are going to be saying. And that is why PlayStation is running scared. They're running scared trying to monetize their users as hard as they possibly can. They're running scared removing content away from other platforms and players, even though they damn well know someone like myself and many other PC gamers are not going to go out and spend $650 or even $900 on a plastic box for 2 video games. PlayStation is literally doing exactly what I expected them to do. Step on a rake due to their own hubris and inability to control themselves. They don't want some of the money, they want all of the money. And anyone that challenges them is going to go ahead and face them into a space that people do not truly understand. Because we're not talking about the console wars anymore. We're talking about the platform wars. And that's what's terrifying PlayStation. Microsoft has a platform with Windows and with Xbox, believe it or not. Steam and Valve have their own platform. And the thing is, now that what you see it with PlayStation, they don't have a PC store launcher. They don't have the ability to have any other platform whatsoever. The only platform they have is their plastic box, and they can't grow that any larger than what Steam and Microsoft are in fact trying to do instead. So what are they going to do? They're going to turn the dial up, and they're going to increase the heat, and they're going to charge you more for everything across the board, because the line has to always go up. The absolute trash fire behavior of these companies and corporations should not be swept under the rug and literally passed aside because it's $1 a month or $3 for every 3 months. They shouldn't be charging you more money for anything at all, or even charging you to access the internet in the first place. Hell, if they're going to charge you that amount of money, you should at least get day one games on their PSN storefront. PlayStation has once again proven that they are only good when they are in fact the second place competitor, when they actually have to try. The second that they hit first place, the first thing they do is they turn around and they switch their mask up like hexadecimal in Reboot, ready to go ahead and just gape you out of every single aspect and coin out of your back pocket and grab your ankles and hold you upside down like Roger Klotz, shaking out every fucking shekel. Literally the worst kind of behavior you could actually see, and why anybody would support this company truly is an absurd thing to watch. When your own fanboys turn against you, PlayStation, clearly you know you fucked up. But you know what? I want to hear what you guys got to say about this in the comments section down below. Do you think PlayStation is scared of Valve and Steam Machine? Do you think they're just trying to be as greedy as possible? Or do you think there may even be a bigger play here than what we're being led on to believe? I want to hear what you guys got to say. Speaking about what you got to say, here's the comment of the day from yesterday's video. With Anarchy216 saying this: all we want is to own and play our games. It's like the industry doesn't want to be held accountable. God forbid we don't fund their yachts. And I think that's the exact sentiment of what we're seeing right now with all this news from PlayStation. People are sick and tired of funding yachts for every other major CEO and shareholder, while at the same time having to pay more out of their pocket and being given the entire support the devs response that we seem to be getting every single time. Oh, and I can't wait for all the new studio closures we're going to be seeing as well. Nice job, PlayStation. Way to go. But as always, if you want to see more of this kind of content though, more PC port reviews, gaming news, Steam Deck videos, fanboy content, and even live streams every Saturday night, subscribe to the channel. If you want Discord access or emotes during those live streams, become a YouTube member. It's as low as $1. Look, if you don't want to spend the buck, don't even sweat it. Just come on down to the live stream Saturday night, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, live right here on the channel as I wear a banana suit and get insulted with text-to-speech. Think of it like just a different version of Sábado Gigante for my Latin folk. Trust me, you're going to want to see it. Saturday nights, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, live, right here on the channel. Oh, and do you want even more of me? Well, check out @OhNoIt'sAlexGaming. Link to that channel is in the description down below. I put out a video every single Monday, and the recent one was talking about how IGN review scores really don't make a lot of sense concerning Subnautica 2 and even Mixtape. Give it a watch. And to make it even better for you on that channel, I also stream games there every single Monday to Friday from 10:30 a.m. to around 2 p.m. Right now, we're almost done with Mouse PI, and we're going to be starting up Lego Batman soon as well. Check it out if you want to see even more content. With all that being said, though, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you gooners next time. Peace!